Hey everyone, this is the Phantom, or rather the Phantom 2, the new small hotness from the Star Wars Rebels animated TV show. Of course, this is not a new design of vehicle or craft in the Star Wars universe. It is a reused or recycled Neimoidian shuttle or Sheathipede class shuttle, specifically one of the types that actually has a cockpit on the front for operators to fly it actively, as opposed to the old standard of just having basically droid control. Just you walk in and tell it where you want to go. Now, LEGO has done one of these before, and this one doesn't look like that old one in many ways, which is not necessarily a good thing, because I thought the old one looked a little bit more accurate, personally. They use a combination of parts and stickers to get all the designs on this thing. For example, up in this area, they're using the light aqua color of actual plates to give you some of the color, but then they switch it down to a sticker here. And then this is fully a sticker on the top, and this is a medium blue colored brick with just a small sticker for the little bit of orangish yellow color. On the back, that's a sticker. This actually has an interesting sticker on the underside of it up at the front. That was something I wasn't expecting to see at all. Gives you a little extra detail from under there. I think that's actually a pretty important one to include. The build of this was fine. There's not a lot of space in it, unfortunately. Of course, it is supposed to be a pretty small craft in universe. This is one of those Speed Champions canopy pieces, and comes up from the back, and it just has, well, it does have plenty of room to get that one figure in there. He doesn't get attached with any studs, so it's very easy to put him in and take him out, but he does not have a place to put his lightsaber or even his lightsaber pieces, unless you want to just break them up and just kind of toss them in there. That is a printed console piece in the front, although Kanan's probably not going to be using it much, given that he's blind and all. And I don't think the Force can see electronic displays. It's probably just going to get in there and tell Chopper, Chopper, take me to X location, and Chopper's going to do all the work. This does have a couple of spring-loaded shooters built into it, and they're buried down in there pretty well. They actually have a mechanism that's accessed from the back in order to fire those out, and you can fire just one single one at a time. You just move that piece right here, this yellow piece, from one side to the other, and fires one, fires the other. You know, if you don't want to see the little red bits, you can just leave that off, and it actually looks like a nice little bit of greebling texture there in the front. So that is well done. In the back, it does have a cargo bay that comes down, sticker there. This opens up, and it has just enough room for a container. It's not really a whole lot of space in there, but this has, again, small sticker on the top, and this is supposed to be a weapons cache. Just has a couple of thermal detonators, so not a very big score this time. In a comparison to the older Phantom, I think they've done a good job of maintaining a similar size here between the two. Even if they scale differently in universe, I think it's not that much of a difference actually. But just as toys, as models, these look good next to each other if you want to, you know, kind of show the progression over time, you know, the history of the show or the timeline. I think that these make for good side-by-side display models, a favorable comparison. One doesn't truly outshine the other. Of course, a really cool trick the original Phantom model had was its ability to dock up to the Ghost, which it did pretty well, even though it's not scaled properly, if you will, to the Ghost. So let's see if the new one can do that as well. We'll have to fold up the landing gear. Now, the landing gear on this one, you know, and the real thing, are supposed to kind of clamp in and fold up, but the way they've designed it for this, they want you to just bring them forward, flatten them out a little bit, bring them forward, kind of tuck them under like so. So I'll do that. That's what you're supposed to do. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all, actually. And this thing is pretty big. I don't know. Is there a spot? Oh, it's settling down. There we go. It actually works. Probably even further out of scale than the original was, but it does work. Colors go together properly, It is fully settled in there. You know, it's not just sitting, you know, it's attached, probably even more securely than the original was. Looks actually pretty good from the back. This is nice with all the black parts back here. It doesn't look quite as good from the front, but nor did the other one. So I think, you know, it's successful in this way. It does what it needs to and what I was hoping for. There's one last thing. The entire front can kind of work as an escape pod. I don't know if this is an intentional feature, but the way that everything is attached, you can just pop all this off. That exposes some ugly stuff on the inside, but most of the time it's not shown. You know, it's just one option that's available to you for the sake of play. Here's a closer look at Blind Kanan and Grand Admiral Thrawn. The latter being the main reason I think most people are buying this or are interested in buying this set at all. A very highly anticipated character, a very highly anticipated minifigure. A lot of folks are just buying the whole set just to pick out the Thrawn figure and resell that. It's already profitable. It's wanted by so many folks. Now I actually think the Kanan figure is pretty perfect. They really captured the look of that character in the show just so well. The shield, which is actually built into the hairpiece, you know, that's all together, but that is, it's just really good. A realistic yet sufficiently Lego-ish representation of the character. On the other hand, I feel like the Thrawn figure maybe looks a little bit young. The outfit I think looks good. The choice of hair I'm good with, dark blue for the hair there, but the face itself, I don't know, just a little bit, a little easy going. I think they went with that one. I think they could have aged him a bit. He does have this alternate face, that's a good thing. Here's one of the faces for Blind Kanan. Now that doesn't look so good to me. That looks a little bit better. There we go. Those are the two that I like the least, and these are the ones that I prefer, for sure. And now I can say I got to the chopper. It's too easy. I had to do it. How could I not? This chopper figure, I think, looks good. Could use, you know, some extra small appendages, but for the Lego style for Astromechs, I don't think they could have done much better. I also got pretty lucky with the print on this one. It doesn't have any wonkiness around the head, and the circles are pretty well lined up. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. And in total, the minifigures are my favorite things from this set. And I think probably most folks will agree. You buy this set to get the figures, not so much the shuttle itself. Now I think the shuttle itself is okay, but the one thing that I don't like about it is how short the fin is. The dorsal fin really needs to be more prominent on this. Whatever their reasons were for making it short, I think that they just chose poorly with that, and it should have been at least a couple studs taller than that, maybe a little bit more. It's really what you want to see on this craft. It's defining feature. And then there's the price. As of the time of the recording of this video, I do not have access to a US dollar price for this, but the UK price of £40 for this is outrageous. Even as an outlier amongst outliers, that is an outrageous price. £30 at the most, that would still be, you know, kind of rough, but it would be fathomable. 40 is not fathomable for something like this. Now I know that some folks, I have not looked around, I'm not going to look around, but I know some folks will definitely speculate that it's because of the inclusion of the highly desirable Grand Admiral Thrawn figure that Lego decided they would overprice this intentionally because they knew collectors would want that figure. I am not going to state that as a theory myself, because if it's wrong, then it's uncalled for, libelous slander. Everything that I've seen from Lego has pointed to them being one of the most moral and ethical big companies on the planet right now. However, this is still super overpriced. If they did it on purpose because of that figure, that is absolutely evil. I'm not going to say they did it for that purpose because I choose to believe that they did not. However, for whatever purpose, for whatever reason, they price it at 40 pounds. It's a ridiculous price. It is not worth that. So that's that. Doesn't really matter so much how good the set is. It's so ridiculously overpriced. I think the market is being very unfair to this thing in a strangely positive way. And these things are selling like hotcakes because collectors want the Grand Admiral Thrawn figure. And, you know, collectors are frequently willing to pay 20 bucks for a figure by itself just without even thinking twice. So if you figure you're paying 20 bucks worth, or let's say, you know, 15 to 20 pounds for just this figure, then you're actually getting a pretty decent deal for the rest of it. But yeah, that is what it is, and I'm not happy about it. If you'd like to share your thoughts about the price of this thing as well as the design of the set on the whole, feel free to leave a comment down below, but no libel, no slander, no cursing. Recheck the commenting policy in my video description if you need to. It's not hard to be very negative about something without being immature or unprofessional. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope that this was informative for you. I'll talk to you again soon.